Question 1. In regard to American Revolution, when a united colonial fighting force known as the Continental Army was created? Options are A. 1725, B. 1736, C. 1765, D. 1775. Answer 1 is D. 1775.
When the American Revolution broke out in 1775, the colonists didn't yet unite under a single flag. Instead, they fought mainly under unit or regimental flags. In June 1775, the Second Continental Congress, meeting in Philadelphia, created a united colonial fighting force known as the Continental Army.
Question 2. Who was the first commander-in-chief of the Revolutionary Continental Army? Options are A. John Hancock, B. George Washington, C. James Craig, D. Gerard Lake. Answer 2 is B. George Washington.
The Continental Congress commissioned George Washington as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army on June 19, 1775. Washington was selected over other candidates such as John Hancock based on his previous military experience and the hope that a leader from Virginia could help unite the colonies.
Question 3. When the first ever American flag was officially adopted? Options are A. 1898, B. 1850, C. 1777, D. 1750. Answer 3 is C. 1777.
The Second Continental Congress was busy drafting a constitution known as the Articles of Confederation, seeking an alliance with France and supplying the war effort. But on June 14, 1777, it took time from its schedule to pass a resolution stating that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation.
Question 4. Who have designed the first American flag? Options are A. George Washington, B. Bernard Cigrand, C. Francis Scott, D. Betsy Ross. Answer 4 is D. Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross had often recounted a visit she had received in late May or early June of 1776 from three men: General George Washington, financier of the Revolutionary War Robert Morris, and Colonel George Ross, a relative. During this meeting, she was allegedly presented with a sketch of a flag that featured 13 red and white stripes and 13 six-pointed stars, and was asked if she could create a flag to match the proposed design. Ross agreed, but suggested a couple of changes, including arranging the stars in a circle and reducing the points on each star to 5 instead of 6. Affidavits from Ross's daughter, niece and granddaughter was published in Harper's New Monthly magazine in 1873 and soon became part of the United States history curriculum taught to millions of elementary-aged school children every year.
Question 5. During 1950, how many Americans mailed unsolicited designs for a 50-state flag to the White House, Congress and federal agencies? Options are A. 4,500, B. 3,000, C. 2,560, D. 1850. Answer 5 is B. 3,000.
During the 1950s, more than 3,000 Americans mailed unsolicited designs for a 50-state flag to the White House, Congress and federal agencies. The submissions ranged from crayon sketches by schoolchildren to hand-sewn mock-ups. While they were certainly creative, many of these proposed flags did not follow the rules set by the 1818 law.
Question 6. When the current American flag was officially raised for the first time? Options are A. 1860, B. 1906, C. 1960, D. 1966. Answer 6 is C. 1960.
The current American flag, which is the longest tenured banner in American history, was officially raised for the first time on the 4th of July in 1960.
Question 7. Where the current American flag was officially raised for the first time on the 4th of July in 1960? Options are A. White House, B. Fort Knox, C. Fort McHenry, D. Fort Tilden National Park. Answer 7 is C. Fort McHenry.
The current American flag, which is the longest tenured banner in American history, was officially raised for the first time on the 4th of July in 1960 at Baltimore's Fort McHenry.
Question 8. When President Woodrow Wilson did officially establish June 14th as USA Flag Day to celebrate the anniversary of the Stars and Stripes? Options are A. 1858, B. 1898, C. 1906, D. 1916. Answer 8 is D. 1916. When the American Revolution broke out in 1775, the colonists weren't fighting united under a single flag. Instead, most regiments participating in the War for Independence against the British fought under their own flags. In June of 1775, the Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia to create the Continental Army, a unified colonial fighting force, with the hopes of more organized battle against its colonial oppressors. This led to the creation of what was, essentially, the first American flag, the Continental Colors. Over 100 years later, in 1916, President Woodrow Wilson marked the anniversary of that decree by officially establishing June 14th as Flag Day. As you celebrate the anniversary of the Stars and Stripes. Question 9. Who wrote the lyrics of The Star-Spangled Banner, America's national anthem? Options are A. Bernard Cigrand, B. Francis Scott, C. Betsy Ross, D. George Ross. Answer 9 is B. Francis Scott.
The lyrics of The Star-Spangled Banner, America's national anthem since 1931, are taken from a patriotic poem written by Francis Scott Key after he witnessed the Battle of Fort McHenry during the War of 1812.
Question 10. When the Star-Spangled Banner was become the nation's official anthem of the USA? Options are A. 1916, B. 1931, C. 1946, D. 1956. Answer 10 is B. 1931.
The Star-Spangled Banner song was recognized in 1889 by the U.S. Navy, who sang it when rising and lowering the flag, and then it was proclaimed in 1916 by President Woodrow Wilson to be the national anthem of all the armed forces. However, it did not become the nation's official anthem until March 3, 1931. The Star-Spangled Banner, national anthem of the United States, with music adapted from the anthem of a singing club and words by Francis Scott Key. After a century of general use, the four-stanza song was officially adopted as the national anthem by an act of Congress in 1931.